Previously, on Talk That Talk.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I'm about to say, you ain't got to ask. Just come on, go ahead and go in.
So like, and Trice can even vouch for this, my growing pains. When I first got to Grambling State University, man, I was like, man, I got to invest and get out of this rope. That was my number one objective. That everybody, when I write something or we write something, we come up with something that it gets written. It gets written, it goes in here, whether it's warm-up solos, I don't care if it's tenor, quint, bass, it has to be on paper to be played. That was the first thing, and like I said, it was difficult. But one thing I noticed about all percussionists, I'm not gonna even use the term drummer, just all percussionists, whether they can read or write it. One thing I noticed about all of them is that when they get better at it and they get more fluent in reading and trying to compose and trying to write out, they actually latch on to it. The initial piece is very scary because it's different. It's something you've never done. So just like I said earlier, when you look at a director, if a director knows what a cheese pataflauta is, even if they can read the rhythm, they can't play it, right? So it's the same principle. When they look at that sheet, you cut the heading off and say, hey, play this. And they just sitting there staring at it. And it's like, that's one of our basic showcases. And they know it. But when they get to take it home, break it down, and we start doing that, investing that quality time, because the problem is 99% of horn players have a director that taught them how to play their scales. Literally, they can recognize their scales on paper, not just playing by ear. So they're going to get money because they can read, right? I use an expression all the time, which is, we're free men, we're not slaves. Slaves can't read. So we can read. So now, as Trice was saying, now when you come into and I say, okay, look, you want to drop some money on a snare drummer. You don't drop money on a snare drummer. You drop money on a percussionist. You drop money on someone that can play xylophones, four mallet. You drop money on somebody that know their rudiments. You drop money on somebody that's actually, hey, I can dabble in timpani, but show me what else. You dabble in that person that's trying to literally learn at the university. And they already have a base. The problem is all bands have a band director, but not all drum lines have an instructor. And that's the problem.
Not to cut you off, Ricardo, but back into the stepchild situation. And I know all of us are old to know our grandmas. All right. How many people know that when your grandmas had a book and it had the family tree in it, correct? I know I had a book. My grandma had a book. My dad had a book of the family tree. Think about if you had to learn your family tree by just somebody telling you. How hard that'll be. If it wasn't for that thing, if it wasn't for that book that showed you, hey, this is your grandma. So how many sisters you had? That's just like rudiments. These are your rudiments. These are rows. These are diddles. These is what you need to know. Because when you know them, you're going to get to know some other people. You're going to get to know your cousins. Them called hybrids. And then you're going to get to know your kinfolks. Them called stick tricks. And so then that's how the situation. I don't understand how kids can learn rudiments by rote. Like, that's hard. That's really hard to have to learn 40 rudiments, because we always talk about scales. That's only 12. And then you talk about a percussionist, you want us to learn those 12.
Oh man, he froze in the middle of his sermon.
Damn.
I'm gonna throw a ring.